Yeah, hey, hi, whoever's knocking on my fucking window. Hello, how are you? Can I help you with something? Well, what is it? Who is it? Let me get my glasses on, man. Hold on a second. Am I safe? Yeah, you're safe, man. I'm not ever bothering anybody. I don't know what your problem is.
How's it going?
I was sleeping, man.
No,
I'm
you're
all right.
good.
How y'all doing?
Sorry to bother.
I know you're upset about getting evicted. I'm the owner, Julie Allman,
Yes, ma'am.
and I don't like that you were talking about Christy. She's never been in your apartment alone, ever.
I can show you the paperwork she left, and that's what started this whole thing. So,
I don't care. I just want you to stop threatening her, and you need to pack, and you need to go.
you need to go get Lane Abercrombie. He was who I started to file charges.
He knows.
I don't care.
I do.
I filed charges, man. How come your stuff is more important than my felonies?
I need you.
I need you to understand there's a make my day law, and you people have really gone out of your way to put me in a bad spot.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that I've filed charges with the police. You guys did nothing about it. How come Christy Patterson gets to have full control over everything, and I don't have any kind of safety or any kind of expectation of safety living here?
No, you do.
I don't.
Everybody does.
I wish that were true. Now, if you were here yesterday, you would have heard why that's not true. So,
Well, that's what I'm coming to talk to you about. If you don't mind.
I'm here, man.
Have
We're talking.
somewhat of
Let's
a
talk.
conversation. But when you start bringing up the make my day law, I'm not going to want to have a talk.
Well, you need to find Lane Abercrombie, okay?
It's not working today.
Buddy, you need to go find case number Jason Wiggum. Do you know Jason?
No, you probably.
You got the
talked
prior
to
casework and
everybody.
everything?
You probably talked to every single person in our office at this point.
Do you have any idea about any prior
I have somewhat of an
casework?
idea, yes. But right now, it's just you and I.
I'm standing right here.
I know, so.
What do you
I
need,
wanna
man?
Talk to you about what's been going on.
I'm telling you what's going on.
All I've heard is you filed charges. What did you file? What crime was committed?
They stole a medication. This was twice in a row.
And you talked, was that Lane or was that Will?
Both.
For, it was two separate times?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
1 year and then again next year. Buddy, back up, all right? Back up. Back
I'm
up.
literally just standing right here.
No, you guys are standing at my doorstep. You've been threatening me for days now. This is really.
This is the first time we've talked, yes?
This is the first time we've talked, yes.
Well, what about Christy Patterson, who was here yesterday?
Christy's
She
not
was
here.
not here.
I was standing here with a lawyer yesterday. We had 2 managers here. You're telling me this is the first? This is an
She's not
ongoing.
in here. She's not in town.
Lady, I was in a Zoom meeting with these people yesterday.
Uh-huh. She
Okay.
can still do Zoom anywhere she wants.
So you're saying I didn't do it? Or what? Okay, so,
Confused as to what you're saying.
right. So am I. What is the problem?
What is that?
That is where they tried to get into my apartment.
You didn't have anything that you had to open up.
I have a security wedge. And that's why this is torn, is because they tried to get it out from underneath the door. You see how that's torn right there? They have to come out of the side. Here, I'll show you. This is a security winch. It fits under a door like that. You do this, and it puts tension on the door so that it can't be opened, right? Now, if this is on this side, and the door is pushed against it, the way you get by that is you take a car dolly, or an appliance dolly. You slide it underneath the door, right here, and you pull backwards. It puts tension on this, and you can wiggle this fucking thing out. Now, when that happens, the bottom of this, right there, catches right here on your carpet and tears it. This was 2 days after they put this carpet in here that did that. They knew about this. They knew I was being robbed. Julie, they did.
Never been robbed.
Julie, they did.
Nope.
I don't know who you think you are, but Jason Witham was here. We had
I'm
the
the
fuck-
owner of this building.
You're telling me I didn't get robbed. I'm telling you you're a fucking liar.
Well, you didn't get robbed. You did not get robbed.
Go find, can you guys give me 1 second? I'll come back with the case number. You can go check this out, and she can see that
No,
I'm not a
you
fucking
can stay
liar.
right there.
Hold on.
Julie, she's a crook. That's all there is to it. Let me find that case number. Deputy James Witham gave me this card as case number 230439. That was on August 1st, 2023.
Okay.
That was the stuff that I was given to Lane on the 20th. I had the wrong phone number, it didn't go through. So that's why I didn't get it. But see, April 20th, 909. Tried to give that to Lane because this was where we were trying to connect all these dots then.
So you texted the number on top?
It was the sheriff's office. Is what
Yeah.
happened. It was late that night when
Yeah.
Lane and them showed up. Told them I was going to do it. I did it. I realized it didn't work. I was like, this is messed up. I'll get a hold of him tomorrow. I put it off because I didn't want to put Christy Patterson in jail when I woke up the next morning. And things have de-escalated since then. So I don't know. I certainly wasn't lying about any of this stuff, and I certainly do have everything that I told you I did.
What did you try to send me off? Or try to send me Lane? What was that text message?
It was this. It was I was giving him the case number.
No, that big long portion of the text. What was that?
Me trying to explain what I was doing. Let me find it again. It says, hey Lane, here's the case number from that incident.
Right.
Also, I'd like to make sure and draw attention to the fact that I'm disabled. Disabled folks are technically at such a disadvantage in society that we're further protected from oppression by law. A landlord who rents to disabled people has to abide by rules, and they get inspected to maintain their certification. Letting her disabled tenants get robbed is pretty damn serious, I thought. I got this error when I sent that last message to you just now. I have the number correct. This is really weird. My phone was cloned. That was also a thing. That case number was another thing from DHS. It was a DHS cyber crimes report.
Okay.
Cloned phone. That was right here in this apartment, in the place I was renting from you. They cloned my phone, stole it right out of my window, dropped it right at the corner, and look at her. She's saying no, she wasn't here. She already knows some shit, but I can't convince her of the truth. Just letting you know. She's sitting here shaking her head like, no, you're wrong. That's not what
So
you did.
the thing is, with all this content, where's the proof for it? Right? We just need
The proof was there when they needed to do the damn investigating. But they can still go over here and talk to this guy who stole the medication. Got the picture of him outside my window that morning. I mean, I have all this shit.
I wanna see the picture.
Did you show them?
They never got this far.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd be glad to. Let me go get the other phone and have the picture on it. Give me 1 second. Please forgive me.
No.
So on this phone, screen's cracked and it's dead. I'd have to charge it, but I'd be glad to show you guys.
Okay.
If you guys want to sit down and have these conversations, I'd be glad to do.
I just want to try to clear the air. You know what I mean?
I hear that they've got a new owner coming in.
Yeah.
There you go. I don't have a chance to get a new, lease with the new owner or anything since I'm already in here. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not entirely positive. That'd be with discretion of the new
So she's
owner.
kicking me out the day before they're gonna give it to someone else. Is that what's happening?
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Well, they need to talk to Lane Abercrombie before I do anything. I told them that a long time ago. Because that would have connected all these dots. We would have been way ahead of all this shit.
So, when medication was taken, talk to me about that. Was it taken out of your room? Where was it taken?
Well, there was 2 separate incidents that I know of. Yeah, let's see. First time it was taken out of my apartment. It was in a kit with my phone and my meds were in there. All my stuff was together. Fell asleep in my apartment. Woke up, realized my kit wasn't with me, and walked out here and realized my kit had been moved from where it was when I had fallen asleep, which means someone had come in. What did I do? I scrambled for it. I ended up going outside to look, and I saw that let's see what happened. I woke up that morning, I came in here, my kit had been moved from the inside in, it had been replaced. It had been moved from there and it had been put right here. This was years ago, it was like 3 years ago. It had been put right here, on a thing I had sitting right here. When I picked it up from there, my phone wasn't in the kit anymore. My med bottles were in there, but the phone was gone. I looked, I was like, well, the meds are there, but I didn't count them or anything right then. Ended up there were some missing. My phone wasn't in there. I was freaking out, so I was like, well, shit, this must have just happened. So I walked out. I literally walked out and walked down here. I look out. The next door neighbor is in his front yard out there. Like, you can see if you walk over to his yard, he's got a fence that goes around the yard part. Comes up about, I don't know, midway. This guy right here, yes sir. I look out, I walked to the end of this hallway right here, and if you go here and then look left, you can see out the window, and you can see right into his front yard. And he's standing right there. He looks over, and it was the weirdest shit. I went like this, I looked, and I saw him standing there, and I was like, okay, someone's there. You know, maybe he saw what happened here with the meds. And as soon as I looked over there and noticed him, he was looking this way, kind of through the two windows. It was like he saw me looking at him, but I don't know how he could have saw me, because when I locked attention on him, he went like this and squatted down behind that fucking half wall right there. Squatted down like he was trying to hide. And I'm like, man, that guy knows he's not hiding right there. What the fuck is he doing? He's just looking suspicious. And he squatted down like this, and he stands back up, and I'm looking at him, and he squats back down again. And I'm like, what in the fuck is this guy doing? And so I walk out, and I look to the right, and one of the other neighbors, she lives upstairs down that way, she was out in the parking lot. She had eye contact with the guy. I don't know what was going on, but when I walked out, she turned from looking at him and walked across the parking lot back this way and headed that way, walking down the road. That was just such suspicious behavior out of him that morning after I just got robbed. I couldn't help but just remember exactly what I saw. That's what went down right there. So I know he was out there. That was the first time, right? Second time, that same guy is photographed right outside my window. Now that time, what had happened, I had my kit in a bag, and when I'm around the house, I keep all my meds and all my stuff in a bag so that I can transfer it straight to my jeans when I get up and leave. So I carry it around here. Had that bag with me. It was early in the morning, probably 2 or 3 in the morning. I laid down to go to sleep, and it was right after they had just put these windows in, put these new windows in. And so I had a stick. It was just long enough to put into this window in the frame to where you couldn't open it.
Okay.
But I had a stick that was short on the other window back here. It was short by just enough, about that much. It's about as much as you can get your fucking hand through there, right? Had that in the window. These windows had been in for like 1 or 2 days at the most at this point. Had that in the window, needed a new stick. So when I went to sleep, I was like, man, there is just no way anybody would know that this is the one night they could reach through this window and steal my medicine laying right here. I wake up in the fucking morning for laying right there. Meds are missing out of my bag. It's still laying next to me, where it was sitting right underneath where that crack in the window was at. And I realized, I woke up, put everything together, I counted my meds, they were missing. I freak out. I realized that they must have just reached through this window. That, you know, the one opportunity that I gave them was the only opportunity that they had. So I figure in my head, we gotta just chase that down. That has to be what's going on as far as I can see. So I did. Right, I saw him. I remember thinking, I was like, man, okay, so if they took the meds here, and I was like,
This is bedroom window, sorry to cut you off. Bedroom window?
bedroom window, yes sir. My bed at that point was sitting directly underneath the window.
Okay.
So I was up to about like this point. So I mean, the guy could literally just reach in the window, grab the bag and leave. But the thing is for him to know where that medicine was at and that bag was in that position that night, the only way he could have known that is if the guy was fucking psychic or if he had eyes inside my apartment. Because I had the bag with me. I mean, there's no way to really know where I'm at with it unless they're watching me.
Mm-hmm.
He knew where I was at, he knew where I was asleep, and he knew that he could get to the thing somehow.
Okay.
So then that brings me to the point of, look, either he's the luckiest criminal in the world, or they're watching me in my home, and I had already kind of suspected that anyways, because the first day I moved in, I tested that. And I'll tell you how I tested that if you're interested.
I'm all right.
Moved into a new place, I walked in, it's a simple rule of thumb, I was like, look, and I've been doing this for a while, because I've been getting spied on for a while. This happened in Denver in 2003 is when this shit started. And since then, it's just kind of put me on edge. I see this shit. So, what was I getting at? I have attention deficit disorder. This is very, very fucking difficult for me, but I hope that you're recording this so that I don't have to do this again. And again, this has been a couple of years, but I have the phone evidence of taking the picture on this morning and all this stuff. Okay, the picture, yeah, I woke up, and when I realized this, I was like, wow, he was, I said, well, shit, if they've been in here, they would have needed the dolly to get in. And, I'm trying to remember how I bridged the gap between the window and me wondering how they got in my apartment, because there was a reason. There was a fucking reason.
Do you mind if I ask what you're diagnosed with? You don't have to tell me.
Attention deficit disorder.
I'm just curious.
Attention deficit disorder.
Just that?
Just that. Well, I have chronic pain too, so I take pain medication too. But,
Okay.
I'm not like psychotic or anything like that. Never been diagnosed with any kind of crazy shit other than attention deficit disorder.
You said it was 03 in Denver. The first time?
02 and 03, that's when all this shit started, yeah.
Okay.
I was working for Business Networks. We were doing a project for, they had just done, let's see, it was just after 9/11. So they were doing, I was doing telecommunications work with a friend of mine in Florida, company from them. They were contracted with people in Texas. We were doing contract work for them. It was the system, right after 9/11, they released a system for cell phones that, it was mandated by the federal government, that all cell phones run through the emergency 911 system, which shows the location of a 911 call, we call it. Basically, we were testing that system when it first came out. That's all I was doing. They would give me a cell phone, they'd give me the DPS computer, they'd fly me to a city, get a rental car, get my phone, and just, I was basically, if you've ever seen the Verizon wireless guy, he's all, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I was doing that basically. But for that program itself, it was federally mandated. There were big contracts and big agencies involved. It was a big deal. But yeah, they started fucking with us in our hotel up in Denver. They were following us around, harassing us. They broke into my truck, they broke into my hotel room. They harassed coworkers of mine, my cousin. It went down pretty notoriously. And I left that job when it just got too stressful. They weren't really able to do much about us getting harassed still. So, you asked me that, I got off track. Yeah, I remember I was like, okay, so if they've been in here, somehow I decided that they must have came in, and I remember thinking to myself, look, if they did that, he would have needed the card on it, like I explained to you. And just as I was thinking that, I fucking look out the window. The guy from across there is walking outside of my window with a dolly, an appliance dolly. Walking over to this shed, you can see it right out my window, in the neighbor's yard, and put the dolly in there. I'm sitting here thinking, he must have needed this to get in here. I look out the window, there he is with the implement. I took a picture. I mean, that's as much corroboration as I can give you as one guy when no one else is really helping me, but that's how it went down that morning. That wasn't all that happened either. It was.
So you think he used that dolly to pry that open?
I think he might have tried. I think they might have tried to get in that day and were unsuccessful.
Genuinely, I don't think anything is going to get that thing out besides actually busting the window. Your pry thing?
Okay, well, it does tear up the carpet when you do
Right.
it, though.
No, I don't, like, because even if you tried to lift that thing up underneath the dolly, so, you mind if I just see it to kind of?
Sure.
I'm a visual type of guy.
Oh man, I'm interested to find out too, because I didn't tear that shit up. I know.
No, the actual. So like, when this goes down in, right, and it has that, I don't think a dolly's gonna be able to get up underneath this.
It doesn't need to. What happens is it gets up underneath this, and you just pry on it. It lifts this up enough to give you play to be able to jiggle it like this.
But even then, you'd be cutting this, you know what I mean?
You tear up the carpet.
Right, but this is just, like, it would tear the way, the angle of the door. You know what I mean?
I don't know if they would've got that far, bro. See,
I
check this
I
out.
mean, I don't think it would be able to open if they did even try it. Like,
Okay, you know, honestly, yeah, I don't think they made it in that morning. But that's
Okay.
the thing, they did reach in. They might have thought that it was an easy target. I was out enough. They got the easy reach in, and they were like, "Oh well, fuck! If he's out that much, let's try the front door real quick because we want to try the dolly tree." You know what I'm saying? I don't know how in the hell I was thinking that exact thing when I looked out the window and he's holding the implement, but that was one of the creepiest things about this whole entire thing.
or it could just be a guy putting a dolly in his shit.
It is the same guy who was outside last time I got robbed. And it's also the guy that when I walked outside that morning, this is the rest of that morning too, when I walked out, when I actually went outside to investigate. I walk outside, there's a neighbor down there, his name's Joe, right? I walk outside, walk to the left, I walk out, Joe's sitting out there, right? I walk out and the only thing he says, I didn't even say anything to him about what's going on or anything. I walk out there and he says, I got hydromorphone. That was what had just been stolen from me. Literally what had just been stolen from me. And I look at him, I'm like, you got hydromorphone? What? Joe, my meds were just stolen. Like, you got hydromorphone? And I'm looking over at the neighbor's window, or the neighbor's place, and Joe didn't really say where he got it from, but he did say he got it on the morning I was robbed. And the guy had been out there that morning. I had a picture, so I know that guy had been walking back and forth. If Joe got hydromorphone, then this guy had walked right the fuck by.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
So that's all that was. Maybe Joe has a prescription for it. Maybe he was
Right.
talking about something completely different, but that is just
It's
uncanny.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's just unbelievable luck that would happen that morning. Because I've never had a conversation about my meds with these guys, ever. In fact, my meds were written down. Against my will, I had to give Christy Patterson a list of my medication when I moved in here.
Okay.
I said, look, that's a violation of my privacy, Christy Patterson. I know about this. She said, no, the owner needs it. You need to give us this information. I said, Christy, I'm not giving you this information. This is a violation of privacy. She kept at it. She said I had to have it, or that was it, right? So I gave her.
You're good.
Gave her a list of the medication. What did she need it for? I mean, I got stolen from. There's no real reason they need that. So when she's needing information that I'm not even, I don't have to give that information to her, is what I'm saying. There's no reason for me to give my medical information to my landlord. There's just no reason for it. All it does is set me up to get robbed, which is exactly what happened. I had a problem with this when she asked for that information from me, and I requested that she didn't get it from me. She pressed me anyways. I ended up giving it to her, and that's what's up.
Do you have a copy of the lease or anything like that?
I do have all the paperwork.
Okay. There'd be somewhere in there to see if whatever her, if whatever's in the lease, if it says something along those lines in the lease, if you sign that, then yeah.
This is the thing. There's no reason for any landlord to ever need that information, ever.
Right.
The fact that she asked for it is suspicious.
I understand where you're coming from. I do.
So right out of the gate, they need suspicious information. Their person gets robbed and they don't care. That's the fourth thing, is that I've been robbed twice and told them about it. Obviously, this is the first time they've contacted me. I asked her to speak to the police about getting this security issues taken care of. Apparently, she didn't. All of the things that I had addressed about security were completely ignored by Christy Patterson. For what reason? I'm a tenant here. We need our safety here. These are legitimate issues, and she's hitting me on all this other shit, but won't address the safety issues, the one where she's been directly implemented. So I don't understand why I'm the suspicious one, or why that seems to be legitimate.
I'm confused by that. Just the suspicious part. I don't think
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that.
In my professional opinion, if you're willing to hear it, if I can give it to you.
Yeah, what's up?
I think there's potentially more things going on mentally than just your ADHD. I know.
I realize you might think that, buddy, but
And I don't know you, you don't know me.
What is it about me that's making you think that?
Just all of these.
I have PTSD. That's another thing.
Okay.
I am isolated. I've been harassed for going on 20 years now.
Okay.
So I do have those issues going, but I'm still. I mean, everything I'm saying is real. Everything I'm giving you is evidence.
Right.
So I don't see why I'm crazy for that.
In this line of work, we definitely talk to a lot of people, right? And when it does come to mental health, a lot of the thing, or a lot of a lot of the same things start to, you recognize certain aspects of certain things. I'm not a mental health professional. I've just done the job for a little while now, to where you start picking up on this, that, and the other of, there might be something else here. So when I asked you what you'd been diagnosed with, that was me just trying to reach to see, hey, the ADHD, understandable.
No, it's ADD.
ADD, sorry. Understandable. I think there might be something else.
I'm medicated for it. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't know which medications you're on. I'm not gonna
I
ask.
take amphetamines. I'm on amphetamines. So if that's what you're seeing, that's what it is.
There's some similarities a little bit.
Well, there you go. What are we getting at here? My medication looks evident. Is that what you're saying? Because yeah, it should. It's pretty potent.
Well, yes and no. Like I said, I'm not a mental health professional. I just try to give people the help that they do need.
Okay. I needed help when I got robbed, and
Right.
the landlord didn't do anything.
Right.
So that's why I'm upset and why I am probably looking kind of crazy. But it's crazy to me that it's come to this point before they've even gotten this far. Because it's not like I've been sitting over here quietly like, hey, there's no problem. You know what I mean? They've been, hey, we'll ignore Clinton until we can fucking evict him because, hey, we robbed him and.
Right. Well, those other two cases, right, between Lane and Bloom, I have had zero prior information about that, right? If I would've came that day, maybe it would've been a different story. You know what I mean? I'm just first meeting Clint today, and I'm getting a general assessment of who you are, and you're probably picking up the same thing on me, right? And so, the main reason why we came, the text message, was it Jennifer, and then sitting in your apartment waiting for her with a gun or with a weapon.
That was creepy, man.
Right. No.
I walked out here, I walked back in, she's standing right there. This is the lady who had needed to go talk to Lane about my meds. This was known. I told her this. She didn't do it. And then they've had, ever since I got robbed, they got this other chick in here, Jen, right? And Christy's been gone. So everything I've been doing has been through Jen. Stuff when Christy shows up with her signature on it, but I never see her. That worked out for me because she was the one who was freaking me out about getting robbed, you know what I mean? So lo and behold, when I saw her standing out here after all this, it freaked me out. And I immediately, the fact that I was having such direct issues with this lady, and then I walk out and she's literally standing right there waiting, like she had been waiting for me to leave. You know what I mean? Straight up, I mean, there's no way she could have got where she's at without sneaking. Because I walked outside, opened my car door, and was like, shit. Turned around and walked back in, and in that amount of time, she just appeared out of nowhere. Right there, right up there at the front. The doors weren't moving or anything. She didn't just walk in. I didn't hear her coming down the stairs when I walked out. Like, she must have snuck wherever she was at, and it must have been probably downstairs, one of these apartments, or in that stairwell. Did you see that video, by the way?
In the stairwell?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that chair's been there for, I don't know how many years.
Quite a while, right? But yeah, I mean, she said that they had the dude Shadow, Joe's little buddy, was living in there. He was fucking living in there. So I don't know. When I find out that stuff's, you know, when I'm thinking, hey, how did they know where my meds were at when they stole them that morning? And then I realized that, hey, they've got a little fucking cubby hole here where a dude can sit and just listen. And I mean, shit, he could poke a omniscope through the fucking wall. I'd never know. How did he know where my meds were at that morning without directly observing it? Yeah.
Wasn't the window open?
Well, it was closed and it had the piece of wood in it that allowed for it to open about this much.
Right, but it was cracked.
No,
Yeah.
it was closed.
Oh, I thought you said it was cracked over.
No, it was available. It was able to be opened. You know what I mean?
Because you needed a new stick. Okay, yeah.
The stick was just long enough,
Yeah,
and it was in place. So if they tried to open it, it would have only opened yay amount. That's what I'm saying. So
I mean, again, I don't have answers for that stuff.
okay, well that's why finding the chair in that room was extra creepy.
Right.
Because, oh, well, shit, we were wondering how they would have known about this. Well, here's kind of evidence that somebody was sitting there and could have had that information. So it corroborates. It just all goes together and makes it worse. Like, how is this less suspicious now instead of more suspicious?
Their storage closet has a chair in it.
And nothing else? How come all the shit wasn't in the storage thing? How come all the shit is sitting out of the thing, except for the chair? Huh, it's like they needed room in there. Well, normally you put the storage shit in the storage area, not outside of the storage area where hide a chair in the storage area where, you know what I mean?
I mean, technically the whole thing's a storage area.
It's divided, there's two separate storage areas.
Right. But
Nothing's supposed to be in there, by the way, according to her landlord laws. So why is there magically just shit there that she doesn't care about? It's just there for reasons that don't bother her for some reason. But if it was anybody else's shit or anybody else's stuff, she'd be all over it. Because she does. So,
right, that's not
buddy, you gotta understand, that's getting really fucking sketchy on her end. You know what I mean? That's just evidence stacking up. Like, everything I'm saying is not being dispelled by all this gathering evidence we're building here. You know what I'm saying? It's getting worse.
I don't know if we technically consider that evidence. It's all very, very circumstantial.
Okay, well, you need to consider it though.
And so,
Felonies were involved. I'm reporting felonies that have no reason for me to even report them other than the fact that my shit got stolen. I'm the only one being held responsible for those missing medications, so it's not like I needed to invent stories to come up with reasons why my meds are gone. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it doesn't matter. It's not like I would have gotten more. So there's no reason for me to build a huge lie about this stuff other than the fact that I got robbed and I need help being safe now. That's the part they're not grabbing. There's no reason for me to lie about this shit.
I get that.
Why would I cause myself all these problems if this was not the truth?
And this is going back to my mental health thing.
Man, you can't sit there and not take in evidence and then call me crazy. That's just not what's gonna happen here.
I'm not calling you crazy.
My mental health has been disturbed by all this, and I will definitely take that up with them if they want to keep harassing me. Look, I've been here for years, under threat of being robbed again by this chick, and she needed to go talk to the cop to ease my pain, ease my mind, my mental suffering of wondering what the fuck's going on. She won't do it, right? That's all she needed to do was just go talk to this cop, and she literally will not talk to this guy for some reason.
Well, if I see Lane today, I will try to have him follow up.
Please do that, man. I'd be glad to talk with him. I mean, he knows what I told him that night.
Right.
I told him about the issue, about the next door neighbor, about how Christy Patterson had been involved because I had seen her hanging out with the guy right after the robbery. That's just questionable stuff to me. That's not proof that she did anything. I'm not accusing her directly of doing anything, but this shit is too sketchy for me to let my landlord skate with. You understand? She needed to get a hold of him to ease me.
I understand.
That's where I'm at with it, man. They didn't ever do that. Now they're evicting me. I mean, I haven't been in the right condition to be a tenant the entire time due to what she had done. So, I don't know what to say. You can't just put somebody in this situation and leave them that way and expect for there not to be mental issues that develop. You know what I mean?
Yes, I think this has potentially been going on for longer than that, though.
Would you like to explain what you're talking about?
Well, when you said it started happening back in '02 and '03.
I wasn't on these medications back then.
Okay.
They were harassing us over some completely different shit back then. But it was still kind of the same shit. Ended up being harassment, spooky shit that goes down because it can't really get a good grip on who the fuck's doing it. But it is happening, the evidence is there, we were robbed, we were violated, we were trespassed upon, I was stalked, harassed. It's been quite an ordeal, so.
So all those same crimes you just listed, you've talked about happening here as well.
That's right.
See what I mean?
The evidence doesn't matter or what?
I'm saying that I think there may be another factor.
Would you like to talk to the rest of the people who were involved when I got harassed and stalked in Denver? And then maybe you'll think that, maybe you'll realize that it's not just a crazy guy who's seen crazy shit all the time, but all these other people were there getting harassed too. So if he's crazy, maybe he didn't just think this shit up out of his brain. You know what I mean? Because they were there, you can talk to them. I'm sick of being doubted about this. I mean, I realize it's not verified, it's not easy to just walk up and say, oh, we got the guy, but I'm handing you stuff that can be followed up on. If any of y'all would have walked with me over to talk to this guy, right then, we could have been past this. But it just didn't happen. Nobody cared. My felonies went completely they just weren't anybody's problem. Nobody cares. Oh, Clinton reports of felonies? Fuck it. We're not even gonna follow up on it.
I understand where you're based. I do.
Bro, I don't know what to say then. I mean, you can go to law enforcement and they're just like, huh? What the fuck am I supposed to do?
Like I said, I do get it. I get that you're pissed.
I'm glad that you're standing here, man. Thank you for saying that.
I'm trying to, like I said, just try to have a conversation with you to clear the air. I'm sorry, you feel like we failed you as an office?
Well, it was kind of a slow train coming. As far as the failure goes, it was not exactly a failure. It was a failure of them to follow up, but it was also me not getting that message to Lane that night and deciding the next day that maybe, since what ended up happening? Jen ended up sending me a thing saying that I wasn't getting evicted, and I was like, well, maybe I don't need to throw Christy Patterson in jail right away. Maybe maybe I don't need to get a whole bunch of shit started that way if things are getting better. And that's why I didn't connect those dots with Lane right then. But I knew that it would show on my thing that I definitely tried to, and I had full intention of doing that. But when I told him that information was there and would be coming, yeah, it was kind of a mutual failure there, I guess. More on me though. I did tell him I would send it to him, so I wouldn't blame Lane, but they definitely, neither him nor Jason or anybody else. There was another lady cop there that night on the 20th too that I haven't heard from either. Did you guys come in here on the 25th?
Which month are we talking?
This month, she claimed, or no, it was last month, April 25th.
May or June?
May 25th. April 25th. No, it was April 25th, because April 20th was the incident.
April 20th.
Was the incident that the two police showed up, and I let them in here and showed them the damage to the wall, all of that. That was Lane and the other lady.
The undersheriff.
Okay, and then on the 25th was when they came saying that they needed to do an emergency entry. And this was 5 days after the incident where the police had been called, so it definitely wasn't an emergency, and they had the information they needed, and they're claiming that they needed to do an emergency entry in my place that day. They didn't tell me that they had done that, In fact, they told me they wanted in there that day, and I had to let them in, and I was like, look, you need to give me at least 3 days notice before you come in here demanding things.
Again, depending on the lease, I know my last lease I had was 24 hours. So.
Regardless.
Yeah.
Regardless. They needed to tell me. At any rate, I told them, I gave them the information they needed. They wanted to see the damage, so I took pictures of it. That's exactly what they needed. I just was in a bad state, didn't feel like dealing with anybody, and wasn't in any mental state to be nice about anything right then. And I was just like, look, we can do this, you just, not today. And I'll give you the information you need, just don't want to be around people today. Apparently that wasn't good enough. She's saying that they sent someone in afterwards or some shit like that. That's what it says on the paperwork. I didn't see anybody, my cameras didn't see anybody, but they said that they did it. And yeah, I have multiple cameras in here. So I don't know what that was about. They need emergency access to stuff that isn't an emergency. When I told them that they're already under suspicion, and I don't want them anywhere near my shit, and they need to talk to the cop before anything. I mean, I told them all of this stuff, and they still are talking about, oh, emergency entry for unknown reasons. We need to be in your stuff, and we waited until you left to do it. Why would they wait for me to leave? Why would there's just a lot of what ifs there. There's a lot of them. This is the thing, man. Reaching through my window with the intent to grab my medication, that's criminal trespass. That is felony possession of controlled substance, and that is intent to do a crime while trespassing. That's a triple felony endeavor right there that they were engaged in. And apparently kicking me out of my apartment is the more, it's the thing they really need to do more than chase down the felonies. That's my biggest problem that I'm having with what's going on right now. So.
Well, that's not an end thing. Again, that's, if they don't want you in the place, they don't want you in the place. Do I think that there's probably a multitude of other factors that have happened from now until then? Sure. Right? The criminal side,
do you know how
that would be my office.
Do you know how to make my day law is structured? It's supposed to be something like, if criminals are trying to tell you to leave, you don't have to fucking do it, and you can defend it. No? No, it's not like that.
No.
It's not you can defend your home with your gun when they're trying to make you leave.
No.
You sure about that?
Yes.
What is it then?
To make my day law, it's
Yeah.
technically not even, that's the common law name, whatever, right? That's what people know it as. But it's, if somebody's entering your home and they're perceived as a threat and are armed with something, then you have the right to defend yourself. But in this situation, right, they're giving you notice.
She's a criminal. She needed to go through the criminal proceedings of getting investigated. This is a suspected criminal right here trying to wield legal authority over me.
She's your landlord.
She's a suspected criminal at this point.
Hold on. Just let me talk real quick. Okay, go on. To you, she's a criminal. Okay.
That's what matters, man. It's my safety in my home.
I get that. You know you're getting evicted.
No, actually, that was the other thing. They sent me, I got stacks of paperwork. Some say this is a fucking pre-eviction or whatever, and when I was like, yo, I got this pre-eviction thing here, they're saying they're evicting me. She's like, that's not an eviction notice, you just need to do the things. So I did the things, and then she has this thing, she's saying that there was continued insults and violence. She's saying that the stuff wasn't done. She's saying I denied them what they needed. This is all wrong. These are all things that are wrong. These are things that I gave them. These are things that I've complied with. There's no reason for me to be even in a situation where they're still trying to evict me yesterday. However, they went ahead and did it. Or tried to do it. She's sitting there explaining all this stuff. My rebuttals, my defenses against everything she's saying are completely ignored. All the stuff that she'll like write stuff and put it on my door and run away. And then I'm calling, I'm like, yo, this is complete BS. These are the reasons. That goes down. My explanation of anything she has to say goes completely unrecorded. It's just that she had a problem here. She had a problem here. She had a problem here. Not, she had a problem, Clint said this, and this is why this isn't even an issue between us anymore. That doesn't get written there. It's just, I made up some shit and said it. I made up some shit and said it. Somebody else made up some shit and said it. and know anything. I'm sick of getting railroaded by this shit. It's not legitimate. There's just one thing after another. There's just nothing honest about anything they've done here. They've got me locked into some kind of contract with the lease. They claim that it's illegal for me to do anything here, any kind of repairs on my own stuff. However, when I first moved in, the place was completely fucking disgusting. It was unsanitary. I have the pictures of it. It was completely covered in shit, literal shit. I've cleaned it all up. The before and after pictures will make you want to punch somebody, honestly. It was that disgusting. There's no reason why she should have rented me such an unsanitary place, but the point that I'm making is that when she rented it to me like that and then left with that being my new shit-covered toilet, she forced me to do my own repairs on the apartment, which means that that was a direct violation of the lease that she's trying to hold over me. Right out of the gate, very first day, she's forcing me to do work on the apartment. And so now they're telling me that it's illegal to do work on the apartment. So it was illegal for her to force me to do that shit, is what the end of the story is.
Do you have your lease? Do you physically have like a copy of it?
Yeah.
Have you gone over it?
Yes.
So that's basically what a lease is, right?
Yeah.
Whatever's in there are the cans and can outs.
I get this. You know what she cannot do though? Fucking rob me and then ignore the cops when I ask her to.
So, going back to it, if they post an eviction notice on your door,
I'm disabled. They can't just push disabled people out of a place that they had a year-long waiting list to get. This is the only disabled unit in the fucking county that I know of. Like, for me to get this was a miracle. For me to have to fight for a place in a place where I don't want to fucking live disgusts me. But if I don't, I will be homeless. You understand? This place is not suitable to be even rented to disabled people. Not in these conditions. That's the legality that they ought to probably take a look at as well. For them to be just thinking they can evict me right out of the gate with no ifs, ands, or buts, they're going to have problems with that. Especially considering the fact that the way that this whole came about in the first place. They can continue with their little eviction or whatever. I'll countersue the shit out of them for everything. And if they were worried about charges not being pressed or anything regarding that, I mean, I'll definitely just hammer them with everything I have. That's the only thing I can do. The flip side is the fact that I didn't violate the lease after the pre-eviction thing in the first place. I solved all the problems that they had, and I was told that if I did that, things would be okay. Apparently that was not the case. So, how is it that they're giving me information for one way and information for another way, and then just picking the one that suits them?
That's a civil thing. I just want to make sure that nothing's going to happen to either you or them when this does come into effect.
I see her as a criminal, and I see myself getting pushed out of my domicile illegally. So that is basically, you may as well be John Gotti standing on my doorstep telling me to get the fuck out of my apartment. And me sitting here like, I'm not going to do that because this is all bullshit. Where are the cops? How come she's not talking to the cops? That's my defense. Again.
If that day comes and one of us is here, is there going to be any issue?
Buddy, I'm not leaving this place until we get all this sorted out.
Right, I'm saying
You
after the
understand?
whole legal process, this, that, and the other. Whether you're staying, maybe you do stay. Maybe you're heard in court and you do stay here. Or it's the other way around, right? And the judge does tell you that you have to exit this apartment. Is there going to be an issue that day?
I mean, if we have legal proceedings and all that and
Yeah,
everything.
it would all obviously 100% go through a judge, go through the courts.
The only disqualifying factor for that would be that if I was at that point, if the situation had degraded so much that I was literally about to be completely homeless and had no options, and I mean at that point I can't really speak as to what my mental state would be, so I can't really speak on that. But I'm not planning to do anything. I've never planned to do any kind of crazy shit, and I would give them their apartment back if it came to that. Again, they've got a ways to go before they're gonna get me to do that though.
Right.
Again, I'm not gonna be homeless, I'm not gonna wait for a year for a place and then have this all happen and then we have to be homeless because of all these failures, by their management. That's the thing about being disabled, man, is we don't have options. There's only a certain amount of disabled units that are subsidized for people with our income, and we have to fucking wait and fight over them. And so when we get them, it's a big deal. And I don't know if she realized that. I don't know if she realized the problems that she was gonna have with this particular unit and how it's disabled. That is an issue. People get sued for this stuff, for discriminating against people who have disabilities. So I would try to keep that on the top of their mind when we're talking, because I don't want to get railroaded, and I'm in a position of severe disadvantage here. So
You have your rights as well, obviously. I just want to make sure nobody gets hurt. Whether that be them, I don't want anything to happen to them. I don't want anything to happen to you. I don't want anything to happen to me when I come knock on this door.
I've never threatened anybody, so I don't understand why anybody would think that was the case. To make my day long was a clear warning that this is still my place, in my opinion, and these legal issues haven't been sorted out yet. I'm not in any danger, I'm not a danger to anybody. This unit is useless until they get it sorted out anyways, and I'm just gonna stay here until we know what the fuck's going on. I realize there's new owners coming in. Maybe they'll have a better approach for all this. If not, then maybe they'll appreciate my what I can tell them about the state of this place and the security of this place. There's definitely issues they need to address. We have supposed to have security cameras, security lights outside, stuff like that. Security lights on my side are completely blank now for some reason. It's dark as hell over here again. Right? I get robbed over here through these windows. We had lights here. They go to the city council to have the lights removed, and I get robbed like a week later and shit. But you gotta understand, there's just been a lot of, they do this and then I'm in a bad position, shit happens. That happens here. You understand?
I understand.
Okay.
I just want to make sure nothing's gonna happen. Nobody, and I understand you're saying make my day long, make my day long.
I feel threatened, man. I feel like she's been a threat to me this entire time. When I walked out on the 8th and she was standing out in the hallway, and when I came back in and she was standing in the hallway, came out of nowhere. This is
She has
literally.
the same right to be here that you do.
What was she doing here?
I don't know.
Buddy, she had no reason to be here.
But she has the same right to be in this building that you do.
No, I live here. She's harassing me.
But if she's working or
She
managing
doesn't here, buddy.
or doing anything along those lines, it's her building too. In there, different story. In here, it's a communal area.
How did she know I left? So, I mean, she just magically just knew, huh? Bro, she's watching me in here. They're listening to me in here. I guarantee you this shit. I guarantee it.
Again, I take it as you will.
I'd like to point out another thing too. There's no fucking insulation in these walls. There's an expected
That's a civil
level.
thing. That's a civil thing.
I'm telling you, man, this place is bad. So, I mean, when they can stand 2 apartments away and hear you talking in a normal voice, that's a fucking problem.
It's a long haul echo.
I'm telling you, it's an issue. There needs to be insulation.
That's not a me thing.
Bro, I'm telling you.
It's not a me thing.
I'm not getting on you about the insulation here. I'm just telling you it needs it. So, they're saying that how come she won't tell me what these continued violence and threats are? Like she's making up shit. You know what I'm saying? There's a continued pattern of just crazy shit from her that doesn't need explained.
You tear the drywall down.
I was fixing it. I can show you what I was fixing too. This is complete bullshit that I was destroying stuff. The cops were here, talked to Lane, man. They came in and saw what I was doing, bro.
Yeah, I wasn't
They came in and saw what I was doing. Wasn't tearing shit up.
But and from me on the outside looking in, if drywall's torn open, there's some somewhere.
Come here, bro. Please.
Are you sure?
Let me find this door. Wait, just there.
Yeah.
Yeah, please come in here.
You want me to shut the door?
I don't care. Check this out. This is some of the cracking I'm talking about. All along here, right where the window frame goes into this wall, it starts to crack. And it'll crack a complete line all the way up along the seam, right? You can see where I've repaired it, but it'll be just as plain as day. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. This drywall is old and it's cracked. It's got cracks in just the regular wall. There's cracks.
Whole building.
So yeah, there was cracks and stuff that I was literally squaring off
What
to
about
do.
that?
That's what that is. I was squaring it off. You square it off so you can just hang a sheet. So I cut the hole bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Is there a hole behind that?
No, there's not. There is one behind that one. I was cutting that one. That was the one I was working on. I was squaring that one off when Wayne came in. That I put there. This right here, yeah.
See what I mean?
I mean, you robbed me. You robbed me and walk away. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking get mad sometimes. I don't know what to tell you, but this right here was me fixing that issue. I was starting to square it off. They came in and said, "Hey, don't do that. You're bothering the neighbors." I said, "Okay, I won't. Everything's cool." There was no violence or whatever the fuck she was talking about. None of that.
Again, on the outside looking in, it might be considered violent to some, right?
Doing work on your wall.
I don't know.
You gotta hit the wall to take the drywall down. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I get that. But I don't want anything to happen to them that you may regret.
As long as they're not trying to forcibly move me out of here, nothing will happen.
No, it would all obviously go through the courts.
That's fine.
Okay.
Can I get any action on any of this stuff about me getting robbed?
Yeah,
is that even
I-
on your plate today?
For me,
For anyone?
that's not my plate. But whenever they do come in today, I can chit chat with them and say, "Hey, what's going on?"
Be glad to give them all the rest of the information if they need it again. Greg, I need to go take a shower, man. I'm
Yeah,
just standing
no.
here sweating.
Appreciate talking to
yeah,
you.
man.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You try to have a better day, all right?
You guys are always safe around me, man. But I'm not leaving. All right, Greg, man. Take it easy. I appreciate you.
Thank you.